Louie Gohmert decided that he was going to talk about the shooting in Aurora, Colorado, on a radio program with Ernest Istook, who is a former Republican politician as well. And even Istook was uncomfortable with the direction that Gohmert went. Let's show you what happened first.
What is your experience with the way that we have too many twisted minds in our society?
You know, what really gets me as a Christian is to see the ongoing attacks on Judeo-Christian beliefs, and then some senseless, crazy act of terror like this takes place. You know, when people say, you say there's a God, where was God in all of this? Well, you know, we don't let, in fact, we've threatened high school graduation participants that if they use God's name that they're going to be jailed. We had a principal and a superintendent down in, or a coach down in Florida that were threatened with jail because they said the blessing at a voluntary off-campus dinner.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of stuff. Where is God? Well, what have we done with God? We told him we don't want him around, and I kind of like his protective hand of being present.
I love the idea that God is a third grader. And he's like, well, since you wouldn't allow me into this school, I guess I'm going to allow this guy to come and kill 12 of you, including little kids, etc., and injure 50 and shoot all those people. You think God is that petty?
He's keeping a list, and he's also only in the United States.
Yeah. You know. And so every time it's something that they don't like, and it's obviously here the real issue is guns, they turn the conversation into, oh no, it must have been, you know, the godless, liberal, atheist, etc. fault, because if they hadn't angered God, then God would have had his protective hand over those people. But he didn't. He lifted his protective hand because apparently God is and I'm going to be as kind as I can here, an unbelievable jerk and tyrant that he says, if you spite me a little bit, if you make me bitter and jealous, well, I'm going to remove my protective hand and have your kids slaughtered. Okay, that's what I guess Louie Gohmert thinks is God. So now he's not done yet. He takes another idiotic idea here.
Before we ever had concealed carry in Texas, there was just a senseless shooting years ago in Killeen, Texas, in a restaurant. And, you know, if we had concealed carry permits at the time, there was a woman who had to leave her gun in her car. And if we'd had concealed carry, the guy would have been stopped before he could have killed so many people. And I don't know what the laws all are in Colorado, but, you know, what we found over and over again, where people are authorized to carry,
and they
the criminals carry.
They do have concealed carry permits in Colorado. Colorado does have concealed carry permits.
Yeah, well, it does make me wonder, you know, with all those people in the theater, was there nobody that was carrying that could have stopped this guy more quickly?
Because
just the mindset.
Here's what would have been good. In the smoke-filled theater, after he throws the tear gas in and everything, like 3 more people jump up and start shooting too. I'm sure there would have been less people killed if that had happened.
Yeah, because once 4 people start shooting in a theater and everybody's got guns, I'm sure that everybody will know who the original shooter was and won't accidentally shoot each other. And then when the cops show up, they'll all know who was the original shooter in that smoke-filled dark theater, and they won't accidentally kill anybody either, right? I mean, look at these knuckleheads. And by the way, this is the #1 response I've gotten online today when I've been talking about guns. Oh my God, if only there were more guns, this wouldn't have happened. You dumbass John Wayne wannabes. You really think you're going to be able to pull a gun in a dark, smoke-filled theater as people are getting up out of their seats and running, and you're going to hit the right guy and not hit the wrong guys? And what if everybody else has a gun that they're not going to shoot at you? How do they know that you're not part of the team of shooters? That you're not working together? You're going to create an even bigger massacre. And I love how stupid he is, because he's like, if only there was concealed carry in Colorado. And this looks like actually there is. Well, then why didn't anybody? And why? You remember too? He's blaming the victims.
Right.
He's saying the guys who got killed, it's their fault for not bringing a gun.
Right. And how? Like we live in a country where we have a U.S. congressman who is saying, who is surprised by the notion that there weren't more people in that theater with guns.
Well,
I mean,
I'm
where's
sure
our country that
that's
a surprising notion?
I'm sure that all those arms manufacturers are looking at those people and going, God, why didn't these guys buy guns? They're just potential customers. And in some ways, something like this, if it scares 100 more people today that go out and buy a gun for personal protection, well, this was a good business day for them.
That's a devastating point, and it seems harsh, but I bet you that there are gun manufacturers who think, hey, our sales just went up.